Starfall.
Hey guys, Nick here with Starfall Sabers, and I'm really excited to show off this collaboration saber that we have named Covenant. Now, this saber is a collaboration between myself, Brad with Griff's Custom Sabers, and Nathan from Wild Space Outpost. Now, Brad and I had talked, and we had always admired each other's work, and we thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to do a collaboration saber? So we had talked back and forth, and then eventually Brad had sent me some pieces that he had machined, and it was just a beautiful canvas, and it got me really inspired. And so eventually, when I had some time, I was able to kind of do my found part thing to it, and then we sent it off to Nathan Barnes, and he did a Proffie, KR Proffie install. I think it's version 1.5 with the single button hack here. So we also wanted to do a plaque for this saber. So I'll show you that first. It's kind of just like a handmade plaque. It's the basic plaque from the custom saber shop. But then I had some flat aluminum stock that I cut down and I acid etched and just hand did this. Says Covenant in Arabic, and it kind of matches some of the etching stylings on the saber, and it actually turned out pretty cool. I was pretty happy with this. I might do this for future builds too. So this saber comes with this plaque. I'll set this aside. Kind of wanted to show off some of the aesthetics of the saber, kind of what Brad had sent me. So I had asked him to just kind of send me some, like just a thick round emitter, something that I could maybe turn down and turn down to sleeve over something. I had something in mind. So this was a big chunky emitter he sent me with a thin neck. But then he made this grip that was just beautiful. I'd never seen this before. It kind of had that Obi-Wan grenade milling pattern on it, but then he went and flattened the edges. He milled the edges down and just did a beautiful job. And it just feels so cool to hold. To me, it looks very in-universe, but with a neat spin on it. A very regal, kind of ancient saber, still well taken care of, but showing signs of just how old it is with some of the weathering I did. And so then he made this booster as well with the flattened sides to match that profile. And he also milled this really beautiful pommel here, which kind of is like a spin on the gear or the sync tube pommels from the original trilogy, like Obi-Wan's and Luke's Return of the Jedi. So that was it, and it was all just bare aluminum. And I do have to say, Brad is an amazing machinist. Like, he is just, I wish I could do that. I wish I could be that precise and exact. I'm kind of all over the place. But it's kind of nice because our two styles, I think, and just getting feedback from the community on this particular saber, I think it turned out really well. So what I ended up doing first with this saber, this flat part of the grip just kind of screamed to be acid etched. And so I did this, I don't even know what to call it, just kind of freehand pattern on it, but it turned out really cool. But then I didn't like how it had matched up in the middle. And so I had these brass aluminum bars that you can kind of bend. And so I bent them to contour with the shape of the saber and inlaid them in. So I thought that just looked really cool. So then once this was done, I milled the emitter down a little bit to give it some dimension. And then I have this gold-plated steel that I scored. It has a really cool scoring pattern on it to sleeve over for this shroud, which just gave it like a really nice regal look. Now with the pommel, because if any of you have been following my work for a while, I kind of have a mantra to never throw away any found part. So I go to thrift stores, antique stores, just to find stuff that kind of has that Star Wars vibe to me. And my shop is just a mess. It makes sense to me, but anyone who walks in probably would advise me to clean my shop. But anyway, I've had this vintage lamp wick that had been laying around the shop for a long time. And lo and behold, I grabbed it, and it just kind of fit perfectly into this pommel that Brad had machined. And here's just a little greave to cap it off. But what was cool is it was naturally vented for sound holes. And I'll show you what it looks like inside too when you unscrew the pommel. It turned out really cool. So once this was done, I sent this to Nathan Barnes from Wild Space Outpost. And he does a lot of my installs. And he did a great job doing the Proffie install on this. So let me show you. So right now, this is how the Saber will ship. The kill key is installed here because there's no deep sleep mode yet for Proffie, which is coming on the next version, which I'm excited about. But the kill key is going to be in the pommel here. I'll show you and get access here. I also, this is baked on enamel and post weathered to give it just that real world, real used painted metal look. I really am a fan of the baked enamel because it's very durable, but it looks to me more real than powder coating or anodizing. It just looks more like it came out of the Star Wars universe versus the anodizing and powder coating. Sometimes to me it just seems a little too like high-end toy. I know it has its place and there's some applications that's beautiful, but man, I really like the baked on enamel. Maybe it's just me, but I love it. Oh, I wanted to show you inside this pommel. So this is the other side of the wick feeder. You can see the wick's not there anymore, but look at how Star Wars that looks. Super cool. All right, so this is a 3D printed speaker holder. Nathan now got a 3D printer, which is nice because he can custom design chassis and not have to hand machine them anymore at a Delrin. He can 3D print them, which is nice. So you have plenty of relief on your speaker here. And then you see you can get access to the micro USB SD card of the Proffie board, which isn't necessarily the most user-friendly to make modifications for, but Nathan can help out the buyer of this Saber. So just hit up Nathan Barnes and he can walk you through anything you want to do. Now there's a little pull cord for the kill key, so you can just take a little pair of pliers just to get access to that little. There you go. Starfall. You'll hear the Starfall sound font created by Saber Baron for the boot. And so just don't lose this kill key. So we'll set it aside here. And then you can just carefully seat the speaker right in place like so. And we'll screw the pommel on. I'll get a blade here in a minute, but this is the one button. It's nice and recessed. You kind of got to use the edge of your finger to depress it, so no accidental presses, which is kind of nice. It's out of the way. And so you tap it once to power on. And right now there's no blade plug in here. You can contact Nathan if you want to purchase one from him. He'll get a NeoPixel blade plug for you. So you tap this. Nice and responsive, that smooth swing. Push and hold to power down. So just push and hold until the power down happens. Now there's a cool feature where music will play with this Saber, either in the off position or once you've fired it up. And it's kind of like a long press and release on the activation button. So I'll push it to power on here. Now if you push and hold and release, Do another long press and release, and it'll shut that music off. Push and hold until it powers down. Now to change sound fonts, let me think here. I think you just, in the off position, you push and hold until the sound font changes. There you go. So let's put a blade in here. We'll show some blade effects and cycle through. So you have a blade retention screw here. You can back that out. And just make sure this is seated down. There we go. This is a Cylon blade effect, which is really cool. Any of those Battlestar Galactica fans out there? So say we all. So cycling through, again, you push and hold until you hear the new boot sound. This is that really groovy rainbow blade. Kind of fun. If you tap the power button, you get localized blaster block effects. So you have a lot of fonts on here. I'm trying to cycle through to the Starfall collection. When you boot up, it starts with Starfall, and you kind of have to cycle through to get to the other two Starfall fonts.
Luke Skywalker. I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
This is cool. This is the Kylo flame blade effect. Pretty nice. So this is Infinium. This is a Starfall custom sound font. Nice violet colored blade. The next one should be Celestial, which is another Starfall sound font. A nice Arctic blue color. And then it should go back to Starfall. So there you go. That's the basic operation for this Saber. Take the blade out here. So any other questions, feel free to hit me up. Also, you can contact Nathan Barnes regarding any install operation questions. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support. I'm going to be putting this kill key back in for storage and for when this ships out. So as always, feel free to give me a like. or follow on Instagram at Starfall_Sabers. And thanks again for watching. May the Force be with you, and we'll see you next time.